The Corrupted, one of Destiny's hardest GMs, is upon us in Season of the Seraph, full of fire, panic, and hordes of Taken. Hey, I am your Commander Pika, and let's go over some tips and break down every fight so all players can be successful in defeating Sedia. If viewing in a future season, strats and spawn should stay constant, just substitute seasonal anti-champion methods. Let's dive in. For the GM modifier specific to the Corrupted, you have Epitaph, defeated Taken generate Blight Geysers, Chaff, no radar, 8 Overload and 10 Unstoppable champions, all light elemental shields, and Arc Burn. Due to the number and types of shields, bring every element with weapons, abilities, and adaptable options like Hard Light or Adaptive Munitions. If you are just looking to complete the GM for Conqueror, then you can skip all but about 7 Void shields, which can easily be team shot. If that's you, then invest in Arc and Solar primary weapons. For Platinum rewards, come with all elements. To maximize burn, it is highly advised your heavy weapon is Arc, preferably a linear fusion. Like other Taken Techians, they have a 2x multiplier on their head, so precision-based weapons are great and somewhat necessary for the boss Nuke strat. If you don't have one or want to play it safe, then your best Arc Rocket or Taipan will do. Dense waves of adds, so spec into crowd control and powerful offensive abilities. For defense, maximize your resilience and invest in Arc Resist and Concussive Dampener. For offense, ideally have one Guardian rocking Lucid Finisher for more heavy ammo and Weaken Clear for an easy debuff. And if you're trying to nuke the final boss, it is highly advised to bring a DPS Super and a Well of Radiance. For accessibility, we'll be going over minimum spec loadouts first, meaning owning Forsaken and any and all currently obtainable free-to-play gear only. For exotic weapons, top contenders are Malfeasance, Hardlight, Lemonarch, and Queenbreaker. Look on screen now for some anti-champion weapons, with my top picks being Doom of Chelchis, Emmet AR2, Cantata 57, and Pardon Our Dust. For heavy weapons, hear me out, people dunk on Queenbreaker as a bad weapon, but unfortunately, if you are minimum spec, this is your only obtainable Arc linear fusion. And it does work. The run you will see is 3 Queenbreakers nuking the boss, but it does limit you. If you have a leveled rare King Cobra 4FR, use that instead. Otherwise, Taipan. For rockets, Sleepless or Blowout, preferably with tracking module. Round this out with special options like Riptide or Galu. For loadouts and builds, Arc to maximize burn, however, build diversity and synergy is best. Titans, go defensive with Void or go fully offensive on Arc. Safe exotics are Crest of Alpha Lupi, Armamentarium, and Ursa Furiosa, but I highly recommend Heart of Inmost Light to spam ability after ability. For my recommended loadout, Heart of Inmost Light on Thundercrash with Pulse or Storm Grenades. Pair with the Knockout and Touch of Thunder aspects, then Pardon Our Dust, Hard Light, and Best Linear Fusion, or Queenbreaker. Playing defensive on Banner Shield with Ursa or Heart is an option as well, just Arc's potency is too good to skip. Hunters, Void is amazing here with invisibility, debuffs, and crowd control. Orpheus Rig to improve your tether is my top pick, but Graviton Forfeit or Frosties are great for ability uptime. My recommended loadout, Orpheus Rig on Deadfall Tether with Vanishing Step and Trapper's Ambush. Then Pardon Our Dust, Doom of Chelchis, and Queenbreaker, or try Lemonarch or Trinity Ghoul for ad clear. Warlocks, any element, but I highly recommend Solar. For neutral options, the Stag or Verity. Arc, Crown of Tempests. Void, Controverse Hold. Solar, Starfire, and Phoenix Protocol. For my recommended loadout, Solar Well of Radiance with either Starfire or Phoenix Protocol, Fusions or Solar Grenades respectively, and the Touch of Flame and Heat Rises aspects. For weapons, Yasmin, Cantata 57, and Queenbreaker, or perhaps Hard Light instead. Other option would be Chaos Ridge with the Stag, allowing you to spam Arc Buddies with your team. And then for more heavy ammo, have someone with Lucent Finisher and maybe Aeons. On to maximum spec, going under the assumption you own every expansion and all currently obtainable gear. A lot of great exotic options, with top contenders being Aegir Scepter to freeze all the Taken, Witherhoard for quick debuffs and DPS, Divinity to easily focus the champions and mini-bosses, and Symmetry for utility and ad clear. For exotic armor, Titans, Curious of the Falling Star, and Lorelei are worth considering, but Heart is still preferred for ability spam. Hunters, try out Omnioculus for more invis and debuff uptime, or Gearfalcon's Hauberk for void debuff spam. Warlocks, Necrotic Grip with Osteo or Thorn can work for ad clear, or now opt for Stasis with Osmiomancy Gloves. And in general, Stasis is a great choice to pause a large wave of adds, just be careful freezing champions. Legendary weapons worth considering are Cells by Pitchglass, Storm Chaser, Tarnished Metal, Trusty, Exalted Truth, and Forbearance. For my loadout recommendations, Titans still rock Heart of Inmost Light on Arc, but now equip Witherhoard or Divinity for easy debuffs and stuns. Hunters, Void with Orpheus is still great, but try out Gerfalcon for ad clear, paired with Exalted Truth, Chelchis, or Collective Obligation. Warlocks, Solar Well with Starfire Phoenix Protocol with Witherhoard, Tarnished Metal, and Sail Spy. Or mix things up with an Osmiomancy Shadebinder with Bleak Watcher, Aegir Scepter, Trusty, and Sail Spy. For Rocket DPS, pair Galahorn with an Arc Rocket and finish champs when you get the chance. With that, on to the walkthrough. As you load in, quickly stun and dispatch the Overload Chieftain and his Scorn buddies. Done quickly, then push up and try to delete the Overload Hobgoblin. If you can't because they are hidden, too far, or too many adds, that's okay, just regroup. Now, you don't have to kill all these other enemies. If you want to warm up, then do so. Otherwise, for the optimal strat, spare to the far right side to the same lane as the Taken Centurion. Focus fire on them, be mindful of their deadly Axion darts. Now you're granted access inside. For Platinum, make sure to kill the second Overload champion that should have moved to the distant platform or on the bridge. If you've killed the majority of adds, more Taken and a champion will spawn guarding the entrance. Clear them out or dash inside the portal, using barricades, invis, or dropping down from overhead. That additional champion that spawned doesn't impact Platinum rewards if you didn't kill them. This elevator encounter is the first hurdle. Best advice, communicate with your team and prepare. To do so, charge up a few Awoken relics before each part. Toss it to your teammate and switch weapons to drop it. They only stay on the ground for about 20 seconds, so do this right before you start. The benefit? A fully charged relic one-shots the immunity shields and has a greater AoE. Otherwise, you need a few relics to pop the shields. Once you hack the terminal, first part starts. An initial wave of Taken Scions will spawn at the back of the room, followed by a second wave with Scions and 3 shielded Taken, 2 Phalanxes, and 1 mini-boss Centurion. Throw grenades and a relic to quickly get rid of the Scions before they multiply. When the shielded enemies spawn, throw the remaining balls and defeat everything but the Centurion. Be mindful of their Seeking Axion Dart, as it can one-shot you and is notorious for getting stuck on geometry. Now, again, prepare. Whittle the boss down to almost nothing, scrounge for ammo, wait for your super and abilities, and prepare a couple balls. Once that is done, delete the boss and part 2 starts. Now, mini blights orbit a larger one in the center, where if you touch them you die, along with Taken goo and various puddles on the outer ring. As this part starts, again, use grenades, a deadfall tether, and 1 ball to destroy the initial wave of Scions. Shortly thereafter, few more Scions and 3 immune mini-bosses spawn. Throw your remaining balls to destroy their shields. Now play smart, head on a swivel. Locate and defeat Scions before they multiply. Then whatever mini-boss you can see and is vulnerable, take them out. The quicker you get one off the table, the better off you will be. Just keep moving. Easy to get flanked if you stay in one spot for too long. If some still have immune shields, then quickly and carefully grab a relic. Make sure to communicate who you're throwing to so you don't waste a ball. With practice, skill, and luck, you can beat it. After that, door will open, bridge will extend, and you'll be greeted by many a hive, including an unstoppable Ogre and mini-boss Shrieker. Play range and cover. They won't come to you, but their attacks have range. Take stock of the Knights and Unstoppable possibly leaving the room, either visually or just teleporting. You'll still have to deal with them when you progress. Once close to the stairs, the Shrieker will open. It hurts like crazy, so use cover, call out when it opens, and DPS. Side note, one of the flaws of Queenbreaker and Blinding GLs, Shriekers close when blinded. Through the doorway you'll have 2 Arc Knights and the Unstoppable if you didn't previously kill them. After that, now's the time to recharge and stock up on ammo. A few littered Arc Knights, 2 Unstoppables, and 3 Shriekers. Play slow and try to lure the Unstoppables into safe positions to get finishers off for heavy ammo. Alright, double Ogre room. 2 strategies to consider. For just completion credit for Conqueror, walk in to make everything spawn, then just retreat and stay on the staircase. Safe, great line of sight for the bosses, and room to retreat. Your goal is to nuke both bosses. For the optimal strat, kill the Hive Ogre first. Doing so keeps you in the Ascendant plane and despawns the Hive. Then focus the Taken Ogre. Once killed, all enemies despawn, except for the Shriekers. So take them out or use cover and invis to make your way through the portal. If you kill the Taken Ogre first, that's alright, you'll just have a lot of Hive to deal with. Slower, but just as effective. For Platinum rewards, you need to kill all the champions, including the 2 Unstoppables in the Ascendant plane. So, optimal strat is to first kill the 1 Hive Unstoppable and the Hive Ogre boss. This will then keep you in the Ascendant plane and you'll have less adds to deal with. Use the stairs as cover or go to a different vantage point like the top right walkway or left side alcove. The Unstoppables do wander around, so try to focus them when you spot them. In the Ascendant plane, 2 Unstoppables and a mix of Void and Solar Shields. Getting rid of the champs and the boss will despawn those shielded foes, so try that if given the opportunity. Otherwise, focus the encroaching adds and then on the boss. Depending on where you are positioned during this encounter, as you get teleported back and forth between the planes, enemies still move around. Worst case, you spawn in the middle of some champions and annoyed Hive, so be aware of when you are getting teleported and retreat to safe positions. Jump through the portal, defeat your foes, and now move forward. Numerous Taken Thrall and 2 Unstoppables will greet you. If you're lucky, they'll get stuck in the door frames, allowing for easy destruction. If not, just be on the lookout for them rushing or hiding behind pillars. Like most enemies, if they get stuck on geometry, they can teleport out, so be mindful of that possibility. Deeper inside, be careful of the Void shielded snipers on distant platforms. tons of Thrall and 2 more Unstoppables further down the stairs. Play at range and whittle them down. For all these champions, try to finish them for heavy ammo, as there aren't too many opportunities remaining to do so. Once clear, then backtrack and jump on the left and right side rock formations. There'll be a hidden overload champ on each side. The high ground provides great line of sight and safety. Do be aware, sometimes the right overload wanders around or teleports. I've seen them teleport back to the top of the stairs and wander in the middle lane. So if they aren't on the right, be on the lookout. Defeat the champ on the left and then safely go through the door. There is a Taken mini-boss Vandal guarding the door. Do not take them lightly, it's like the deadliest enemy in the game, but thankfully you don't have to kill them. Just play cover, invis, range, and maneuver around them. Leap of Faith time. Good news, only one Guardian needs to make it, so whoever wants to be the hero, give it a try. If you fail, your teammates can just revive you. Upon your safe landing and moving forward, your fellow Guardians will be teleported up to you. Now just take your time progressing to the final boss. Several Void Shields and an Overload will greet you first. If you're lucky, the champ will just walk off. If not, first focus the adds, then the champ. Hop down, more Void Shielded Acolytes hiding and Geysers left in their place. Instead of jumping down to the large platform, stay up top and thin the herd. 2 invisible Minotaur Majors and 1 invis mini-boss. Depending on how they spawn, the 2 majors should be on the left side, though one can teleport over to its correct spawn spot on the right. Once dealt with, jump down and then be mindful of the rushing Thrall and any of those remaining invisible targets. Just 2 Vandals and 2 Overload champs remaining, ideally use Lucent Finisher for heavy ammo. Alright, time to face Sedia. You'll have numerous Taken Scions and Solar Knights all the while the boss is shooting and trying to push you off. For safety, you can stay on the platform before the actual boss arena and play at range. For more action, be on the center island and use the crystals and stairs as cover. Always utilize cover between you and the boss. Her missiles can one-shot you. For her push attack, use cover and slide right when she casts it to minimize its effects. Now there are 2 strategies, one phase nuke and normal completion. For both, do as follows. Phase 1. Step on the island to trigger the adds to spawn. Then either group up on the stairs and use defensive abilities like rifts, wells, and barricades, or retreat to the platform at your back to fight at range. Scions and Knights spawn and jump to the middle island. Clear everything out, grenades and tethers do wonders controlling the Taken. Once they are all gone, have someone grab a relic from the left island. Throw it at a teammate to charge it, then toss it at the boss to trigger the next phase. Phase 2. Boss is vulnerable in a similar wave of adds spawn. Scions and Knights on the right island that will jump to mid. Do not damage the boss. If you do, it can mess up the chance to nuke the boss in one go. So don't shoot at her or damage the enemies on the right side. Just wait for them to all jump to the middle island, then take them out. With all of them dead, grab ammo and set up. For the nuke strat, the goal is to defeat the boss in one goal. Risky but ends the strike right here. Have one Guardian grab a new relic and then all meet up at the far side where the portal eventually spawns. If you didn't damage the boss, she'll still be on the right side. Moving over to the portal spawn should have her follow suit. Now, things are going to happen quickly, so make sure your heavy weapons are loaded and ready. Have your Warlock cast Wall of Radiance or at the very least throw down a rift. If you have a Deadfall Tether, place it where the boss will be on the left side. Toss the relic at a teammate to charge it, then swap weapons to drop it. Prep a debuff for the boss, either a weaken clear GL shot or a debuff grenade. 3, 2, 1, debuff the boss and all DPS her head. Don't do more than 50% of her HP. After a few seconds of damage, she'll teleport to the left side. Turn around and continue damage. If the tether was in the correct spot, it'll latch on and further debuff her. Now quickly DPS. For safety, have someone grab that charged relic. If you don't kill her quickly once she teleports, she'll go immune. That's what the safety relic is for. Throw it at her to break her shield and continue DPS. Enough damage in a DPS super like Thunder Crash and can seal the deal right here. This all has to happen fairly quickly, otherwise the ball will despawn or adds will start spawning. If she goes immune with no extra relic, act fast. The portal might appear based on her health, but if not, quickly make your way back to the encounter's entrance and clear out the new wave of Taken. The boss will remain on the left side if you didn't do enough damage, so watch the floating debris, grab a new relic, charge, and throw it. When below 50% HP, she'll teleport into the Ascendant plane, so jump through the portal to follow her. Depending on your positioning, timing, and luck, try to grab a relic before they stop spawning and you jump through. This gives you another opportunity to quickly kill the boss. So have one person hold on to the relic and have the rest clear out the Taken and champions in front of you. Charge up the ball, toss it at her, and DPS. If she still isn't dead, then traverse through the Ascendant plane as normal. You'll have a champion and some snipers on each platform. Use cover and range the best you can and watch out for the debris. Final boss arena. All enter at the same time, run, slide, and avoid her push attacks. Depending on her remaining health, the relic will either spawn at the far outermost pedestal or on the one located in the center. Get rid of all the taken enemies first, then grab the relic. Communicate when you throw it, then combine focus DPS. She then might go immune again, grab another relic, and watch for a new wave of taken to spawn with some captains. This whole fight, just take your time. Keep moving, use cover, spread out, be as close to the ground as possible, and try to draw boss aggro for the person going for the relics. Then fire away until victory. With hard work and luck, you've conquered the corrupted. This one is a doozy, so don't get discouraged if you keep failing. It's difficult, just dust yourself off and try again. If the ad waves were too difficult, go in with more tethers, stasis, or offensive abilities. If it was the boss, then maybe try Galahorn with tracking rockets for a more reliable damage, just a trickier one phase. And if instead you were doing this on Master difficulty, it adds the negative modifier Togetherness, severely reduced health regen unless standing next to teammates, and the daily rotating elemental modifiers of Ashes to Ashes, Lightning Crystals, and Subtle Foes. Spec for more healing and never go alone. If you have any questions or recommendations, comment down below. Tackling other GMs, look for the other guides on my channel. And for meeting some helpful, awesome people, then come join the Sundog Gaming Discord. As always, I am your Commander Pika. Be kind, have fun, and I'll see you on the battlefield.